It's project management time. We're going to learn what a work breakdown structure is and see how it applies to music making and songwriting. We'll actually go through the step-by-step process of making it, and you will learn the actual stages of breaking down the project task into smaller, actionable chunks. And as a byproduct, you'll learn how to write a song. Isn't it fun? And also, I'll give you some tips, not the easy ones like use software, templates, or involve your team consisting of key stakeholders. You already know those. Those are going to be some real-life, hands-on pro tips that'll improve your project management experience and save you some time. Be sure to watch till the end. I'll scatter the tips all along the video. And by the way, I'm Vadusha and I'm the best expert in project management and music making in the entire world, and maybe even on YouTube. Work breakdown structure is a tool used in project management to break down work. The name is self-explanatory. So you take a task or a project goal or the end point of your project and break it down into smaller components. And you keep going down level by level until you reach the level of actual actionable tasks. The ones you can put in your schedule, the ones you can put in your task management software, the ones you can assign the who, the when, and the how to. Let's start with our end point in the project, which is a release-ready track. That's a fully recorded song mixed and mastered with everything ready to publish. And that consists of mastered track, and the deliverable here is the WAV file. The second piece of it is technical and meta information, which consists in turn of track name and description, so the text part of it, and release cover picture. These are the things we're gonna do. We're not gonna break it down any further because, for example, the release cover picture takes thinking of what the picture is gonna be, actually producing the picture, drawing it, or taking a photograph and then processing it, or finding the right picture on the web and processing it to a point where the copyright is yours, which I don't really recommend. Take your own pictures, draw your own pictures. Don't steal pictures. Tip number 1 is color coding the branches or specific tasks or milestones for easier navigation. This will save some time for anyone who reads your work breakdown structure. If the reader is your project champion or your customer, this could be a nice selling point for the entire project. It can make all the difference you need to get that funding. And I'm guessing the hard part is the mastered WAV file, which actually consists of mixing and mastering. That's it. Easy as that. So you see how I'm filling the work breakdown structure with nouns. Here's the release ready track, here's the mastered track, tech meta, mixing, mastering, name, and picture. So these are nouns stating the result of the step. They are the actual outcome of the task we're going to perform within the project. To be fair, there's two main approaches. One is using nouns as having the track, having the mastered file, having the picture. And there's the other approach, which uses verbs like release the track, master the track, make the picture. So have an action verb in the wording so that it looks like an actual task you can assign to somebody. Either way works fine. The noun approach states the deliverables, which is handy, and the verb approach describes tasks, which is also handy. So normally the best strategy is to pick one and stick to it. I'm pretty sure we're gonna deviate from both. It doesn't really matter as long as you understand what you're doing. To mix things, you need to have all tracks recorded and or programmed, because some of these sounds are gonna be live, like guitars and vocals and maybe some pianos and noises and percussion. Some of the sounds are programmed. Basically, you can program the entire song. The digital audio workstations of today allow you to program everything using plugins. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a somewhat mixed approach. This is usually called level 0, the actual outcome. This is level 1, this is level 2, this is level 3. So we're going deeper and deeper level by level. And that is what a work breakdown structure looks like. Technically, it's a mind map that has hierarchy. So the higher up, the closer to the actual outcome the thing is. Tip number 2, in larger work breakdown structures, use a numbering system. This will help you keep track of those tasks and deliverables that have nearly or exactly the same names. Like here, if you use number codes like this will help you disambiguate the tasks with similar names. Right, what we need recorded and programmed: vocals, then probably drums, then the bass. We're gonna have a lead or several leads and some harmonic context, so pads probably. And as I've said, the thing has to be organized, so we need to have a DAW, the digital audio workstation project setup. This is where we're getting to the actual hands-on songwriting and recording. Let's start with the vocals, and for that I think we're we're gonna have main vocals, lead, actual singing vocal. Then we're gonna have backing vocals, so the harmonic structure of the song gets richer when you have not just the lead vocal part, but some supporting vocals like second and third and fourth. And on top of that, we need lyrics to sing. To record the main vocal, we need to write melodies and then record. These are verb-based, because these are the final task I'm gonna be doing. Writing melodies, recording the lead vocals. So I'm having action verbs there. And for the backing vocals, we will also write backing vocal melodies and record backing vocals. And you see me going line by line within a category, not going deeper through the backing vocal melodies, because it takes different structures of the brain to think in depth and in width. So width goes first, depth goes second, because when your thinking switches from one to the other, the actual brain hemispheres switch, and it causes you to pause momentarily, and your brain kind of freezes or something. This is called a sawtooth effect, because your productivity goes up and then you switch hemispheres, up and then you switch hemispheres. So don't jump from one to the other. Complete the width first and then go in depth. We've done this level, now we're going deeper in. So to write backing vocals melodies, I think we're gonna write the thirds, fifths, octaves. That's the minimum vocal pack I'm thinking of when I'm writing a song. A third up, a fifth up, and an octave up. Maybe there's gonna be a fourth down, I'm not sure, which is the fifth and an octave down from that. Tip number 3, did you know that a work breakdown structure can actually help you manage your project resources? Just go ahead and add numbers to your tasks and deliverables signifying costs, durations, or any other resources you need, or all at once. This way you can later sum those up and predict your project budget, team size, and duration. And if you don't know the actual numbers, there's another tip coming up for you later on in the video. And you see how it breaks down. If this is your project, instead of sitting there and thinking of how I'm going to release a track, what do I have to do this? Instead of that, you break it down further and further until you reach actual manageable things like record backing vocals. Write the harmony, the fourth down from the main vocal melody, and to do this you need to write the main vocal melody. So there's a list of actionable tasks you complete before you reach the goal of the project. Going further on, lyrics. You actually use a very similar tool when you're writing lyrics. You use a mind map, which I totally recommend using in your projects. You have the main topic and you study it with your associations. You break it down into associations. If you have, say, project management, you have work breakdown structures, Gantt charts, team management, stakeholder management, budget management, timing management, and all of these things. Once you're finished with associations, you convert them to punchlines or interesting thoughts or whatever. I call them punchlines. Once you have punchlines, you write draft lyrics. That's where you actually get the lyrics. And if you've seen my previous video on beginner songwriting mistakes, once you have draft lyrics, you edit them to get a clean version. So that's the lyrics. Then drums. There's kicks, there's your snares, there's your hats, there's your crash, percussions, there may be some funny sounds, and there's the sub kick, 808s. Then you go bass, and to get your bass ready, you write the main riff. I tend to write riff-based songs, so most probably I'll write lyrics separately and then compose a bass riff or a guitar riff. I don't have my bass guitar with me, so I'm gonna program the draft. And once I have the whole bass line programmed, I'm gonna fine-tune it, which will include pauses, variations, and probably slides. Because a programmed bass sounds like it's robotic. You don't really want to listen to a programmed bass unless it's fine-tuned so that it's fun to listen to. You humanize it, you add slides, variations, and pauses to make it sound more realistic or more exciting. The previous tip was to add numbers, costs, durations, and resources. But what if we don't know the numbers? In this case, use percentages. For each block here, think what percentage of the entire project this is gonna be. Like this is probably 0.5%. While the rest is probably 99.5. Then break it down further on. For each sub-level, think what ratio is a good guess among the components at this specific level within this specific branch. Like mastering is around 5% and the rest is 95%. Then vocals is around like 50%. Project setup, I have it pre-made so it's 0. Let's assign the remaining 50% to the rest of them, say 15 each. a total of 60. Okay, let the vocals be 40 then. Those, of course, are arguable and subjective, but you can use your team to discuss them. The combined expertise of the entire team is a good way to improve your precision. Once you're done, or when you know the desired project duration and budget, you can figure out those percentages based off those numbers. And then keep doing it level by level for every task or deliverable. Isn't it magical? But wait, there's more in the next step. On the leads, we'll have to probably write a hook, then record the hook, and maybe we'll improvise and record some ear candy, which are some interesting sounds and details you don't really notice when you hear the song from the first try, but when you listen to the track over and over again, you might hear those little details that are ear candy. And pads, we need to write the harmony, outline the actual chords, normally in a 3-note structure in their first inversion. Once we've done that, that's going to be probably a verse and a chorus. Then program the entire thing and then fine tune it, which will include inversions, stops, and maybe some variations. I'm not sure about the variation thing because pads are in the background, you don't really hear variations in the pads, but those can in themselves be ear candy if you add weird harmonies to that, like sevenths and sixths, and I'm not sure, I'm not that musical illiterate to project these. And that is about it. That's what a track release work breakdown structure looks like. We have the output on top, and then we break it down literally. We're going down level by level until we reach some actionable tasks there, like fine-tune pauses, variations, and slides in the bass line, or write the main vocal melodies. Once you've done the work breakdown structure in your project, you see that some of the tasks precede other tasks. I don't normally write my melodies until I have my lyrics ready, because the melodies gotta follow the syllables in the lyrics. Normally I write lyrics first and melodies later. The next logical step would be make a network diagram out of that, connect these with arrows to see what precedes what, and then convert the network diagram into a Gantt chart, finding the critical path and outlining the entire workflow. For me, these are gonna be a step-by-step process. I don't have a team to manage this. I'm gonna do this all by myself, so I can't parallel any actions there. I can only come up with a sequential project schedule. Do one task, then proceed to another task, then another task. I can't do multiple tasks simultaneously because I'm doing this all by myself. But there you have it, the work breakdown structure. Similarly, you use this tool in your projects. You have your cost reduction goal, and you break it down into, say, cost components, and you break the cost components into improvement opportunities. You break down the opportunities into actionable, whatever project methodology you're using, the plans, the do's, the checks, and the justs, or define, measure, analyze, improve, and control, whichever methodology you're using. This tool will come in handy when you gotta break a large goal into small, manageable tasks. That's what a work breakdown structure is. And by the way, you can hire me as your improvement consultant because I'm a certified Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt and a seasoned project manager with over 10 years of experience of managing change and leading improvements in a large-scale manufacturing company. Or you can ask me to write you some song lyrics, or you can just have fun in the comments. And tip number 5 is to use work breakdown structures to design and standardize processes, as well as to develop documents and presentations. First, you state the goal or the desired outcome of your process, document, or presentation, what you want to achieve with it. And then you think what precedes this goal, what needs to be done to achieve it. And then you proceed breaking it down level by level. With your process, you'll end up with a list of process steps that you can later on convert to a flowchart. With your document, you'll end up with a list of chapters or maybe paragraphs, so it's basically a table of contents. With your presentation, you'll end up with a list of slides you need to make. As I've said, a work breakdown structure is a very, very universal tool that can be used in many applications. Do leave a comment saying what other project management tools you would like me to apply to songwriting and music production. I'd also like to know what you think are the project management tools that apply to songwriting and music making. Thank you for watching the video this far. I'd really appreciate if you considered subscribing to the channel because you're awesome. Yes, you are.